Good morning. Hello, Amanda. Can you hear and see me okay? Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know if Amanda can hear me. How are you, Catherine?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. Doing well. I had a software update, or no, it wasn't. Well, I don't know if you say software. My printer wanted to do an update today. So, anyways, I'm like, hurry up. Of course, it's when you want to do something, and then it's like I tried to go back, and it was already doing its thing. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Adam's here as well. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, let me just mute you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and get started with some common words. Here we go. Ask, down, time, didn't, want, I, them, over, your, are, or, been, now, and, by, think, see, hand, it's, say, how, around, head, did, well, before, off, who, more, even, turn, come, more, sway, smile, really, can, face, right, either, there, only, walk, make, got, try, something, room, again, thing, after, still, thought, door, here, to, little, because, why, away. Let's do some common phrases. You're going to phrase as much as possible. I didn't have, I didn't imagine, I didn't know, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to say, I didn't recall, I didn't recollect, I didn't remember, I didn't say, I didn't think so, I didn't understand, I didn't want, I don't ever, I do not, I don't believe so, I don't feel, I don't go, I don't have, I don't imagine, I don't know, I don't mean to, I don't mean to say, I don't recall, I don't recollect, I don't remember, I don't say, I don't see, I don't think so, I don't understand, I don't even, I don't want, I don't feel, I felt, I have been, I have believed, I have had, I recall, I recalled, I remember, I remembered, I should, I understand, I want, I wanted, I was, I would. Okay. Now, these are going to be some sentences that focus on initial KW, final GD, final LG. Here we go. The questioning was quick. They had a quarrel over the quote. The quality and the quantity of the drugs are important in this case. Did you quit the quorum? The queen tried to quell the riot. She made a quip about the quilt. We tagged and bagged the merchandise for Mrs. Wells. The ragged men bugged the girl. Ron tugged and lugged on the suitcase. Mark was telling her to stop stealing. Were they recalling or appealing the decision? Jake was hauling trash and selling goods to make a living. On Tuesday, they are installing the new ceiling for the Martins. The boys were baling hay and nailing the boards. Do you want to go sailing or bowling on Monday? All right, now I've got some dates and numbers in sentences. Here we go. Did you say that you were with Angelo Lopez on Friday, June 18th? We sent him $45 on the 15th of May. Was the check dated the 8th and the 9th of 2015? March the 30th of this year will mark my second anniversary with the company. I will show the court this computer sales slip dated 10/10/16. Your preliminary arraignment was scheduled for 5/16/18. Walter filed the affidavit with the clerk of the court on Wednesday, the 20th. Do you remember if Friday the 24th, the day that you saw Mr. Arnold drive away in the 2009 Chevrolet? After examining the hotel register, we determined that they checked out on 11/7. Will you be in Toronto on Friday, July 3rd? The 1st of August is my sister's birthday. The document was dated 2/25/2018. All right. Now, these are phrases that I have picked out from, and short sentences from short stories. Here we go. Between the lines, don't open the door, add it up, along the way. Plants and flowers, something good, plant the trees, those other people. In my head, we left it there. Close the door, always be kind. It never happened. Once upon a time, we walked 4 miles. Let me carry it. Stop the music. The young face. State your case. I cut myself. On my side. The peaceful people. The young girl. The tall mountains. A good idea. A long life. White clouds. I hear the sea. I hear the waves. Almost 4 miles. All right, here are some sentences using common briefs that you've learned in theory. So you're going to hear approximate, approximately, approximation, at all times, at the present time, at any time, at that point, at that time, at that, at the same time, at the time, at this time, at what time, do you know, at which time, bathroom, bedroom, children, conversation, driveway, freeway, highway, roadway, red light, yellow light, green light, stoplight, street light, flashing light, brake light, traffic light. That is correct. That is right. Judgment, living room, little. Is that right? Is that correct? Do you have? Has been? Have been? Had been. For example, do you remember? Do you recall? Do you know? Dining room, defense, defend, cooperation, cooperate. All right, and here are your sentences. If you have any questions about how any of those are written, just let me know. Okay, and I'll give those to you. All right, here we go. Can you approximate that? Did they cooperate with you? It is approximately 2 miles. They gave us their full cooperation. He gave us an approximation. I will defend that argument. Be seated at all times. They had a weak defense. Come in at any time. At the present time, I am unable to attend. Let's eat in the dining room. Where was he at that point? Do you know if they are going? Was she present at that time? Do you recall the time? They were at that location. Do you remember the date? Can you talk and read at the same time? For example, he walked this way. At the time, he was on the phone. They had been waiting for 3 hours. I believe they were at this diner. We had been scheduled for 3 o'clock. At this time, I think he was there. He has been there before. Do you have any identification? He was there, is that correct? At what time did he arrive? Do you know at which time he came? They did the job, is that right? The bathroom is on the left. It is a little house. Her bedroom is at the end of the hall. The living room is quite large. Can you check on the children? Can you make a judgment on the case? We had a brief conversation. My bedroom and bathroom are a mess. The driveway was wet. That is correct. I was involved. Our freeway is always crowded. Highway 101 is a beautiful route. That is right. He was there. The roadway had several curves. Don't run the red light. The flashing light caused the accident. The yellow light caught me off guard. I proceeded through the green light. The car's brake light was out. The stoplight wasn't working. Why didn't you stop for the street light? The workers were repairing the traffic light. All right. Moving on to medical tangle tamers. Let me just state this so I know we covered it. All right, here we go. Relieve symptoms, myocardial infraction, drugs manufacturer, symptom of syphilis, blotchy complexion, high blood pressure, cancer in remission, institutional care, liver damage, watery eyes, medical treatment, pharmaceuticals flourished, ventricular arrhythmia, mastectomy surgery, Call's fracture, obviously broken, neuroradiologist, severe headache, dental plates, gaping wound, neuropsychologist, human anatomy, circumferential growth, cushioning shocks, peculiar formation, rounded projections, adjoining vertebrae, thoracic portion, sliding movement, bony process, shoulder girdle, thickened edge, sternoclavicular joints. All right. Now we're going to just do some regular tangle tamers that are not medical, okay? Here we go. Inevitably undernourished, presumptuous interference, unrealistically disheartened, popular alternative, dangerously unreasonable, aquamarine swimming pool, downright upsetting, fax machine, adulterated cosmetics, legislators balk, sweltering temperatures, surrounding localities, salute defective, supervisors approved, cherished myths, proposed bylaws, overall vacancy, insulating glass, contact institute director, political advertisements, complete reference, funeral services pending, battle against issues, northwest corner, sustaining veto, world peace, national security, uniformed personnel, personal conflict, resolve economic issues, deficient spending, senior senator, very possibly, personal observation, international inflation, no bulge profit. All right. Now let's do some names and addresses. Here we go. Debbie R. Olson, OLSEN, Route 1, Box 15, St. Augusta, Montana, 59865. Renee L. Carmichael, CARMICHAEL, 1684, Merkinsville Road, Wooster, Ohio, 44691. Linda A. Brannon, BRANNON, P.O. Box 2931, Rome, Georgia, 30161. Warren Branch Library, 9701 East 21st Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229. Rhonda D. Buyer, Buyer, 3050 North Birch Road, Bremen, Indiana, 46506. Ms. Wendy L. Peters, Peters, P.O. Box 172, Scottsville, Virginia, 24590. Rachel S. Savoy, Savoy, P.O. Box 914, Winestone, Virginia, 22578. Wanda M. Metz, Metz, Ripley High School, Ripley, West Virginia, 25271. Marty V. Matzula, Matzoula, 101 East Street, Hicksville, New York, 11801. All right. Here is a list of the IndyCar Series schedule. Ready? Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, Roadrunner Turbo Indy 300, 93rd Indianapolis 500, ABC Supply Company AJ Foyt 225, Bombardier Learjet 550, Iowa Corn Indy 250, SunTrust Indy Challenge, Camping World Watkins Glen Grand Prix, Honda Indy Toronto, Rexel Edmonton Indy, Meager Indy 300, Honda 200, Peak Antifreeze and Motor Oil Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma County 2018, Peak Antifreeze Indy 300, Indy Japan 500, Gainsco Auto Insurance Indy 300. Okay, here are 10 best human features, and then I'm going to give you 10 best hobbies. So human features: the brain, love, common sense, humor, eyesight, the heart, confidence, taste, bravery, talent. Hobbies: sports, surfing the internet, video games, dancing, hacky sack, board games, playing guitar, making models, exercising, knitting. And then I've got top 10 things to collect: movies, music/songs, video games, coins, cards, stamps, dolls, marbles, stickers, keychains. And then we're going to end with some of the top things that are searched for on the internet. We're not going to get through all of them, but I'm going to give you some of them. Here we go. And they're in alphabetical order. Abandonware, abortion, Adobe Acrobat, AGL, Air Canada, airfare, airline tickets, airlines, Alta Vista, Amazon, Amazon.com, American Airlines, Ampland.com, Amtrak, Andrea Thompson, Animals, Animated Gifts, AOL.com, AOL, apartments, apps, April Fools, area codes, art, AS400, Ask Jeeves, astrology, atomic clock, auctions, Australia, author, auto parts, autos, baby names, backgrounds, baseball, birds, birthday cards, black and white, blank, blue book, BMW, boats, books, boy links, Britney Spears, Brooke Burke, buddy icons, capital punishment, car audio, cards, careers, Carmen Electra, cartoon dolls, cartoons, cats, CD covers, CDA, W550, chat, chat rooms, cheap airline tickets, cheap flights, cheats, child abuse, China, Cinco de Mayo, Civil War, Cliff Notes, Clip Art, cloning, CNN, computers, Consumer Reports, Continental Airlines, crack, credit cards, currency converter, death penalty, Delta Airlines, desktop themes, desktop wallpaper, diabetes, dictionary, Digimon, digital camera, DirecTV, directions, discount travel, Disney, Dodge, dog, dog breeds, dog fart, dog pile, downloads, Dragon Ball Z, dragons, drivers, driving directions, drugs, DSL, DVD, e-cards, Easter, ebay.com, elephant list, Ellis Island, email, M&M, employment, emulators, encyclopedia, erotica, ESPN, EverQuest, exchange rates, excite, famous quotes, fibromyalgia, fish, flash, flowers, fonts, Fosse, free backgrounds, free clip art, free desktop themes, free downloads, free email, free essays, free fonts, free game downloads, free games, free greeting cards, free internet access, free ISP, free movies, free MP3, free music downloads, free online games, free people search, free pics, free pictures, free porno, free ringtones, free screensavers, free software, free stuff, free wallpaper, free web hosting, free ones, freeware, funny pictures. So we'll stop there. Of course, there's a lot more because we only got through the F's. We'll finish that next week. Move into some literary. Excuse me, you guys, I have allergies today. Sorry about that. Goodness. You know what? The one thing I didn't do that I really wanted to, and I pulled it, I want to read you guys a sentence backwards, and then I'm going to read it forward. So obviously backwards, it's just a bunch of words. And then I'll read it back again forward, okay? All right, here we go. The first time it just makes you, we've talked about this, talked to Catherine about it, just makes you think of, you have to just write what you hear, and then obviously the second time will make sense. Here we go. Degrees, 57 of latitude, A at preferably spread acre 2,500, A on horses 3,500, over accommodate could that ranch A operate 2 ways, 500 listed that books of set volume 22 the in pages 7,344 were there. Okay, now I'm going to read it forward, okay? Here we go. There were 7,344 pages in the 22-volume set of books that listed 500 ways to operate a ranch that could accommodate over 3,500 horses on a 2,500-acre spread, preferably at a latitude of 57 degrees. I will read that one more time. I know it's probably on the difficult side because of all the numbers. Okay, here we go. Ready? There were 7,344 pages in the 22-volume set of books that listed 500 ways to operate a ranch that could accommodate over 3,500 horses on a 2,500-acre spread, preferably at a latitude of 57 degrees. Now I'm going to read that last time. I'm going to read this at 2:25. Okay, here we go. There were 7,344 pages in the 22-volume set of books that listed 500 ways to operate a ranch that could accommodate over 3,500 horses on a 2,500-acre spread, preferably at a latitude of 57 degrees. Okay. I'm just going to blow my nose real quick. Sorry, guys. I knew yesterday when we had wind, I was like, oh no, here comes the allergies. Okay, so I'm going to give you a deposition admonition, okay? And I'll start at 180 and I will work my way to 225. All right, here we go. Ready? My name is Joy Kokorian, and I'm one of the attorneys that represents Mid-Century Insurance and Hare headquarters with respect to your workers' compensation claim. We are here to take your deposition regarding that claim. You have had an opportunity to speak with your attorney regarding this deposition process and what you can expect, but I'm going to go over some of the basic ground rules right now. It's probably something that you just heard from your attorney, but I need to make certain that you and I have the same understanding as to what's going to happen here today. So if I am repeating something, I apologize. The first thing is a deposition is an oral proceeding. Everything that is happening here today is being taken down by the court reporter, and therefore it's important that you respond to my questions using words, yes, no, or whatever you need to answer. The reason why I state that is that a lot of times people will say, uh-huh, or they will shake their head, they'll shrug their shoulders, or they will point. And I may know what you mean by that today, but it will not transcribe well onto the record. So I need you to respond verbally. If you do happen to do one of those things, either I or your attorney will ask you to clarify. And that's only because we are trying to get a clear record. The next thing the next thing is you were just given the oath by the court reporter. That's the same oath that you would take as though you were in a court of law. You're sworn to tell the truth under penalty of perjury. You've just sworn to tell the truth. And if you don't tell us the truth today, that means that you may be found guilty of committing the crime of perjury, which is telling a lie while under oath to tell the truth. Essentially, what you need to do today is just tell us the truth. And that oath that you were just given would be the same oath that you would be given as though you were sitting in a courtroom with a judge. Even though we were in the informal surroundings of my conference room, the oath has the same force and effect as though we were in a courtroom. At the end of the deposition proceeding, the court reporter will prepare what is known as a deposition transcript. It will be an 8.5 by 11 sized booklet, and it will read question, answer. You will have an opportunity to review your responses and make any changes which you feel are necessary or important. I do want to caution you, though, that many changes which you make, which are substantive in value, and by that I mean changing a yes to a no or no to a yes on something that can be considered important, those types of changes can be commented on either by myself or any other attorney at a subsequent proceeding or hearing. And I bring this to your attention because my ability to comment on those types of changes could prove to be embarrassing to you and could in fact impact on your credibility later on. My whole purpose for bringing this up is just to remind you to give us your best deposition testimony today. I'm going to be asking you questions today which will ask you to recall times, places, dates, and people. I don't expect that you have total or perfect recall because no one does, but I am entitled to your best responses or whatever information you do have. And an example of that might be if I asked you something, when something occurred, and you don't recall the exact date on which the event occurred, but you do recall that it occurred in 2008 as an example, that is a perfectly acceptable answer. If you start to respond to one of my questions, I'm going to assume two things. I'm going to assume, number one, that you've heard my question, and number two, that you've understood it. So if either of those two things are not true, then I need you to tell me. I would be more than happy to restate or rephrase my question as many times as is necessary for you to understand what I'm asking. I don't want you to think to yourself, well, I'm not quite certain, so let me try and give it my best shot. If there is any question in your mind as to what I'm asking, please stop me and tell me, and I will rephrase the question. Right. All right, so I'm going to read you some congressional record on busing. All right, here we go. And again, I'm going to start at 180 and I will work my way to 225. I did the same thing with this last one. I got up to 225. Okay, here we go. Mr. Speaker, in April, I introduced a bill, H.R. 458, to eliminate any federal court jurisdiction over forced school attendance. The purpose of H.R. 458 is to prohibit federal court orders that force children to attend a particular school. This includes such orders as forced busing to school based on race. I am quite surprised that there are still adamant advocates of school busing for the purpose of achieving racial balance. Busing is costly. It drives down the quality of education, and it has promoted greater segregation rather than greater integration. Busing fosters racism. Racism treats people collectively rather than on individual qualities of character and merit. When a young person is uprooted from a neighborhood school and forced to attend another school because of race, the seeds of racism are planted. Busing increases racial awareness and racial tensions. To eliminate busing, we must curb the source of busing, the federal court systems. The Supreme Court has been very explicit. Racial discrimination in the public school has been ruled unconstitutional. Admission to the public schools must be made on a non-racial basis. Contrary to this, a series of federal court decisions over the past few years has resulted in rulings that are exactly the opposite. Children have been ordered to attend certain schools because of their race. Clearly, it is the courts that are at fault. Their illogical and inconsistent interpretation of the law is the problem and not the actual laws. For this very reason, I have chosen to introduce legislation to restrict the court's jurisdiction rather than to try to amend the currently existing laws. Congress has the power to restrict the jurisdiction of the courts and serve as a check on their power. All right. Moving into jury charge. I'm going to read this. I'm going to start this one at 200, and I'll work my way to 225. Okay, here we go. Members of the jury, of course, the fact that I have given you instructions concerning the issue of plaintiff's damages should not be interpreted in any way as an indication that I believe the plaintiff should or should not prevail. Your verdict must represent the considered judgment of each juror. In order to return a verdict, it is necessary that each juror agree thereto. In other words, your verdict must be unanimous. It is your duty as jurors to consult with one another, to deliberate with a view to reaching an agreement, if you can do so without violence to individual judgment. Each of you must decide the case for yourself, but only after the impartial consideration of all of the evidence in the case with your fellow jurors. In the course of your deliberations, do not hesitate to re-examine your own views and change your opinion if convinced it is erroneous, but do not surrender your honest conviction as to the weight or effect of the evidence solely because of the opinion of your fellow jurors or for the mere purpose of returning a verdict. Remember, at all times, you are not partisans. You are judges of the facts. Your sole interest is to seek the truth from the evidence in the case. All right, I have one more, and this is on affidavits. Okay, again, I'm going to start at 200, and I will work my way to 225. Okay. All right, here we go. Section 9 of the National Labor Relations Act, as amended, provides that the board shall make no investigation nor issue any complaint on behalf of a union unless there is on file with the board an oath of each officer of the union and of each officer of any national or international labor organization of which it is an affiliate or constituent unit. Section 9 further provides that the provisions of Section 35A of the Criminal Code shall be applicable in respect to such affidavits. Section 35 of the Criminal Code applies to the criminal sanction of perjury to false affidavits filed under Section 9H. The question in this case is whether criminal prosecution under that provision is the exclusive method of enforcing the mandate of Section 9H, or whether the board may take administrative action and on a finding that a false affidavit has been filed, enter an order of decompliance, withholding from the union in question the benefits of the act until it is satisfied that the union has complied. The court below held that the criminal sanction was the exclusive remedy for filing the false affidavit. That decision is in conflict with the ruling of the court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. We granted the petitions in each case in order to resolve the conflict. The union filed a complaint with the board, charging that the International Scientific Company refused to bargain with it in violation of the act. During the course of the hearing before the board, the company challenged the veracity of the affidavits filed by one Turner, an officer of the union. The board, in accord with its practice, refused to allow that issue to be litigated in the unfair labor practice proceeding, but later on, it issued an order directing an administrative investigation and hearing. A hearing was held before the examiner, who found, among other things, that the affidavit filed by Turner in August 2014 was false, that the union membership knew it was false and yet continued to re-elect him as an officer. The board agreed with the trial examiner. It held that the union was not and had not been in compliance with Section 9H of the Act, and ordered that the union be accorded no further benefits under the Act until it had complied. The board thereafter dismissed the union's complaint against the International Scientific Company, an action later vacated pursuant to a stay issued by the court below. The instant suit was brought in the district court by the union, which prayed that the board's order to decompliance be enjoined. International Scientific Company intervened. The district court denied a preliminary injunction. The Court of Appeals held that a false affidavit filed under Section 9H of the Act gave rise only to a criminal penalty against the guilty union officer. It did not in any way alter the union's right to benefits of the Act, even where its members were aware of the officer's fraud. We agree with the court below that the board has no authority to deprive unions of their accomplice status under the Section 9H, and that the only remedy for the filing of the false affidavit and the criminal penalty provided in Section 35A of the Criminal Code. We start with a statutory provision that contains only one express sanction, namely the prosecution for making a false statement. No other sections of the Act expressly supplement that one sanction. The aim of the Section 9H is clear. It imposes a criminal penalty for filing a false affidavit so as to deter officers from filing at all. The failure to file stands as a barrier to the making of an investigation by the board and the issuance of any complaint for the benefit of the union in question. The section therefore provides an incentive to the members of the union to rid themselves of leadership and elect officers who can file affidavits in order to receive the benefits of the Act. The filing of the required affidavits by the necessary officers is the key that makes available to the union the benefits of the Act. The board is under a duty to determine whether a filing has been made by each person specified in Section 9H, since its power to act on union charges is conditioned on filing of the necessary affidavits. The argument made by the board would have us read into the Act an implied power to determine not only whether the affidavit has been filed, but also whether the affidavit filed is true or false. All right. So I worked my way to 225 with that one. Oh, there's some questions here. My dog needs to go outside. I sent an email. Oh, okay. Oh, good. All right. Now we're going to start off with the Q&A drill, okay? These are just different questions that can be common, even though you'll find that there's different literature that's used, but they're still more on the common side of questions, okay? And there are no answers, it's all questions. So it's going to go from plaintiff, defense, the court, okay? I'm going to I'll read this at 180, okay? All right, here we go. How are we doing on time? Good. Here we go. Were there any warning cones or devices, construction, jersey barriers, anything of that nature in the street within 100 yards of the intersection at the time of the incident? At the time of the accident, were there any lights at that intersection as far as the overhanging street lights to illuminate the intersection at the time of the accident? Are there any directional signals or lights at the intersection? Before the accident occurred, do you recall seeing any vehicles cross in front of your path? What was the speed limit at or near the intersection at the time of the accident? Just before you applied your brakes before the accident, can you give us your best estimate as to your approximate speed? Did you have your headlights on at the time of the accident? Did you notice at any point in time before or after the accident that the car that you were involved with in the collision also had their headlights on? Were your turn indicators on at the time of the accident? Are you aware of any witnesses to the accident? Were there witnesses to this accident? Was a police report filed? To your knowledge, was any police report made for this incident? Are you aware of any report which is being made to any authority because of this incident? All right. We'll go ahead and start some regular Q&A. And looks like defense is questioning. I'm going to unmute real quick. Amanda, do you know how to do all your sign changes? You probably have that down, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Just making sure, because not everybody has like a light board. And so I get a lot of that from people like, how do you sign in, the different attorneys? So good. It's good to know. All right. Go ahead and continue on. So this is defense. Here we go. And I'm going to start at 180. Okay. I'll work my way to 200. And then the next one will start at 225. Did they describe these to you? Yes. As chiropractic adjustments? Yes. Is that what they said? So is it fair to say at each of the 3 visits on each week during your 3rd month of treatment, they gave you electric stimulation, hot pads, stretching, and chiropractic adjustments? Yes. Did they add anything else? No. Did they take away anything? No. And did that frequently? Did they do that frequently? 3 times a week? Did that change? Yes. And how long did you continue with a 3-day a week? For about a month and a half. And from 3 days a week, what did it change to? To 2 times a week. And at the time that it changed, had your pain in your shoulders increased or decreased? Decreased. How about your pain in your back? It decreased too. And the pain in your foot? It was still there. Okay, can you tell me, in terms of that scale we used before, you indicated it was an 8 on the morning after the accident. And when you first went to the chiropractor, can you tell me what the scale would be from 1 to 10 that you had pain to your shoulders when you first started? It was probably a 7. And how about your back? The same. And your foot? That was probably an 8. And did you hurt anywhere else? My neck. What was that? That was probably an 8. An 8? An 8. All right, now when you finished your 2 months of treatment at 5 days a week and changed from 5 to 3, can you tell me on the scale of 1 to 10 what you felt in the shoulders? Probably 1 less. About 6? 6. The same with the back? Yes. That went down to a 6? Yes. And the foot? Probably still an 8 because that was the only part that would hurt the most. And the neck? Probably a 7. And when you went to 2 days a week, did they add anything to your treatment? No. Did they take away anything? No. They still gave you electric stimulation, the hot pads, the stretching, and the chiropractic manipulation? Correct. And when you went from 3 to 2, can you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 what your pain felt like on your shoulders? On my shoulders? Probably like around 4. And your neck? Like a 5. And your back? Like a 4. And your foot? Like a 6. Can you tell me what kind, if they did any specific treatment to your foot? No, they didn't. So they did massage it? Yes. Did they massage you all over your body? No. Did they apply heat directly to your foot? No. Did they apply cold directly to your foot? No. Did they ever tell you to apply hot or cold to your foot? Yes. What did they tell you? To put it with ice, put ice around it. When did they first tell you that? The first time they started doing treatment because it was just a bruise. Did you do that? Yes. Did that help? Not much. How often did you put ice on it in the first month of treatment? Probably every day. Were you employed at the time of the accident? No, I wasn't. Did your frequency ever change from 2 times a week? No. You're still going 2 times a week? Probably for the last month, I would just go for a day. So you went the last month of treatment. It went from 1 to 2 times a week? Yes. Or 2 to 1? 2 to 1. Did the treatment change at all? No, it was still the same. During this period of time, did you do anything at home? Did I do anything at home to treat yourself? Just the ice for my foot. As we sit here today, do you have any present complaints of pain or discomfort as a result of this accident? How do your shoulders feel today? Pretty as good as they did before you got in the accident? Yes. How is your neck? Is that as good as it was before the accident? Yes. How about your back? It's good. Same as it was before the accident? Yes. How about your foot? Once in a while, I will get pains still. Can you associate that pain with any particular? It depends on what the certain activity that I do. Okay. It depends if I put a lot of pressure on it. Okay. What kind of activities do you do that causes it to have pain? When I run. How often do you run? Since I used to play soccer, I have to keep myself in shape, so probably twice a week. Do you still play soccer? No, I don't. You just run? Yes. When did you start running, get back to running after the accident, or did you ever stop? Yes, I stopped for about 7 months. How often do you run now? Probably twice a week. How far do you run? Probably a mile. Other than the occasional pain to your foot, is there any other symptom that comes up from time to time? No. Do you associate any weather conditions such as hot or cold, dry, moist, or anything like that with any of the pain to your foot? Only when it's real cold. And what do you feel then? Like really sharp pains? On your 1 to 10, probably like around a 4. And do you do anything then when that pain happens? I put icy hot on it. Does that help? Yes, a little bit. Has any doctor other than a healthcare provider told you you needed any further treatment? No. No one's ever told you you needed any surgery or anything like that? No. Do you have any appointments scheduled in the future? No. If you wanted to get in touch with Iris now, how would you do that? I have no idea. Could you get in touch with her brother? I don't know. I can't say for sure. Do you know anybody that knows her? No, I don't. She lived at the Frankfurt address. The last time you talked to her? Yes. You indicated that you had at least 2 conversations with Iris after the accident. Is that correct? Correct. How soon after the accident did you have your first conversation with her? As soon as the accident happened. Okay, how soon did you talk to her? At the time of the accident, a day later, that evening in the hospital? How much time passed from the time of the accident? A day after. Where were you? I was at my house. Where was she? She was at her house. Do you know if she got hurt in the accident? Yes, she did. How do you know that? I talked to her that same day that I talked to her at my house and she was at her house. Who called who? I called her. Do you remember the number you used? Well, it's her cell phone. I don't know it by heart. Okay, was anybody else in your room at the time that you made no. Was there anybody that could say, yeah, I was there when she called her? Yes, nobody was there. What time of the day did this phone call take place? It was late, like in the evening, late evening. In sum and substance, what did you say to her and what did she say to you? Well, I called her just to let her know that I was home so she wouldn't be worried. Did you know she was at home? I happened to call and her mom answered her phone, and that's when she told me she was there, but she was resting. Was she at the hospital when you left, or do you know? No, I don't. So can you tell me what she said to you and what you said to her? It was a brief conversation. I told her that I was home and not to be worried. I asked her if she had gotten hurt. She said yes, that the airbag had hit her in the face, and she had scars. She had burns on her face, some cuts on the side of her head, and just bruises and stuff. That's about it. I asked her to come over, but she never did. That's the last time I remember talking to her over the phone. All right, so we're going to switch this up. Now I got to 200. I'm going to switch transcripts, and we are going to start right at 225, okay? All right. And let's see who's questioning here. He gets defense. Oh, no, it's plaintiff. This is a court case. Okay, so we're going to go to 225. You apparently concluded at the time you were at the scene that the marks between placards 3, 4, and then 1 and 2 were drag marks. Is that correct? Yes. What was your reason for coming to that conclusion? There were 2 distinctive marks in the sand. I thought they were 18 inches apart from one another, and they went from the direction of that blood on the rock and the bullet in the direction of the bodies. And during the course of your subsequent investigation, did you conclude that, in fact, that there was what you had at the scene at a later time with the interview? Yes. Could you tell us about the interview? About the interview? Well, what was corroborated in the interview that was consistent with your conclusion at the scene? Well, from the interview with Mr. Myers at a later date, he in fact told me that he dragged the bodies out to where they were. Did he tell you how far he had dragged them? I think at one point of the interview, he may have mentioned that. I just don't remember it. Okay, what does a body bag actually look like? It's white. It has a zipper that goes from the bottom all the way up to the top of the bag. It's plastic. There are no vents or holes or anything in there. It's just a plastic bag. How long is it? It's 6 feet, maybe by 3 feet. And can you describe for us physically how a body is removed from its point of rest and placed into a body bag? They open the zipper on the body bag. The body bag is placed adjacent to the body, next to the body, and they try to, it's possible most of the time to move the body into the body bag as the body exists out there at the scene. So you have a body face up. They will try to put the body into the bag face up, vice versa if the body was face down. Okay, what did the people do who were actually putting the body in the body bag? Again, describe for us the physical acts that they do. Okay, I mean, there's nothing real detailed about it. They grab the person's legs. One grabs the arms at the shoulder. They very carefully just place it in the bag. And where is the bag positioned when they are doing this? Right next to the body. In this case, is that what they did? Yes. Did you see any evidence fall from the body as they were moving it into the body bag? No. Was there any evidence that was in the body bag at the time it was removed at the coroner's office? No, not that I'm aware of. Thank you very much. I have no further questions, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Mr. Bristol, do you have anything further at this time? Yes, Your Honor, just a couple, just a few questions, very quickly. Okay, go ahead. When you said pooling, you're talking about pooling of the blood from a wound. You were talking about the blood from the head, is that correct? Yes. The spot in the sand was of sufficient intensity that remained there and discolored the sand. You didn't have trouble seeing it, did you? No, I did not. Now, you said that there were drag marks from the general area around the placard 3 towards the general area of the body, and that these marks that you have just described, you're characterizing as drag marks, ridges in the sand, were about 18 inches apart. Is that correct? You said ridges in the sand, grooves in the sand. Yes. Whatever made those marks was of sufficient weight to cause a breaking of the surface of the soil and to put those grooves or whatever you want to call them in the sand. Is that correct? Yes. In any of that area, did you see footprints or the breaking of the soil that would indicate footprints near those marks that you've called drag marks? No, there was not. So whatever made the marks was of sufficient weight to break the crust of the soil, and anything else that I think might have been dragging those bodies, if we assume your assumption is true, was not of sufficient weight to break the surface of the soil. Is that correct? I think the weight distribution is different in dragging versus walking. You believe that a person or thing weighs less when it drags something than it does when it's just moving along? No. Have you ever drug anything of any kind of weight at all in your life, Detective Gonzalez? Yes, sir. Have you ever drug anything that would be classified as dead weight for, say, an area of 15 or 20 feet across the sand, Detective Gonzalez? Yes, sir. Did you find as you drug that dead weight across that sand, your feet tended to dig in the sand as you took step after step through the sand? Not necessarily, no. This is a different kind of soil. A different kind of soil? Footprints wouldn't make the drag prints? Is that what you are saying? No, this is a different kind of soil versus sand, like compared to the beach. It's not like that. Yes, it is a different kind of sand. Thank you. Nothing further. Anything further at this time? Just one question, Your Honor. Detective Gonzalez, when you were dragging the dead weight across the sand, was the trail immediately behind where your feet were being placed? Yes. What happened in the footprints that you left in the sand as you dragged the item over them? I'm thinking back to my exam. That's my memory when I did this. This would have been back in 2010 when I went to the Sheriff's Academy when they have you drag a dummy. You know, it's an 80 or 90-pound dummy. I don't remember what happened to my footprints after, but I imagine if it was followed by a body being dragged or a dummy being dragged, that's going to come second and at least cover the shoe impressions up on some point. Okay, thank you very much. I have no further questions, Your Honor. Anything else, Mr. Bristol? Yes, I do. I would like to reopen my cross. It's beyond the scope of redirect. Go ahead, sir. That's fine. Thank you. I would like to direct your attention back to that bullet. Mr. Gonzalez, did I mishear Mr. Beasley? Was there some lead fragments found on another rock? No, there wasn't. There was no lead found on any other rocks. Is that correct? That is correct. The only lead was that bullet. Is that correct? Yes. Thank you. Nothing further. Thank you very much, Mr. Bristol. Nothing further, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to recess at this time. The next presentation that you are going to hear are several taped interviews of the defendant, Mr. Myers. You're going to notice in those the playing of the tapes, that some of the tapes have been edited, and they have been edited at the direction of the court to delete inadmissible evidence. You are going to be given transcripts of those tapes that you are going to hear, and I will mention this again tomorrow, but I'll mention it now. The only function of giving you those transcripts is to make it easier for you to follow along and listening to the taped interview, the voices on the tape. If there is a conflict between what you hear on the tape and what you read in the transcript, you are to be guided by what you hear on the tape. We've tried to make those transcripts as accurate as possible, but there may be typographical errors in those transcripts. So if you see or if you hear, I guess both see and hear, if you hear something that you see that it's slightly different from what you heard, you should be guided by what you hear on the audio tape and not by what you read in the transcript. The only function of those transcripts is to kind of make it easier for you to follow along with the tape. The attorneys are going to review the tapes, and the transcripts have been modified to take care of all of those deletions, the taking out of some inadmissible evidence. The attorneys are going to be listening to those tapes themselves to make sure that editing has been done appropriately. So the court is going to excuse you at this time, have you come back tomorrow morning at 10 in the morning. Please do not discuss the case with each other or form any opinion until it has been submitted to you. We will see you tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Have a good afternoon. We are here in open court out of the presence of the jury. Present are Mr. Abackerley, Mr. Bristol, and Mr. Myers. Counsel, before we recess, we started this morning, I believe Mr. Lonsford turned in the tapes 32, 34, and 35, indicating that those were the tapes that had modifications on them. He also turned in tapes 33, 41, and 42. Those 3 tapes had no modifications in them. Looking over the court's notes, Exhibit 41 is the pre-polygraph examination, and I believe that the court had earlier ruled that with respect to Exhibit 41, approximately the first 13 minutes of the tape was excluded. The last 17 minutes could be played, or in the alternative, the polygraph examiner could be brought in. And recalling the court's earlier ruling and the fact that 41 has not been modified, it is your intention. Mr. Abackerley, do you want to play 41? Is 41 going to be played? It was not my intention to ever play 41, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Bristol, do you want 41 played? The part that has been ruled inadmissible by the court? No, at this point in time, we are not going to request that it be played. Okay, good. All right. So then, at least for this presentation of the tapes, 41 is not going to be played. Is that correct? That is correct. That is correct. Okay, fine. I think that takes care of the question that the court had. Anything further before we recess? I did want to move to have the certified copies of the death certificates into evidence at this time, since they have been referred to during the testimony. What are the exhibit numbers? They are exhibit numbers 51 and 52. And you're moving those into evidence? Yes, Your Honor. Any objection, Mr. Bristol? May I have a moment? I will submit it. All right, 51 and 52 are admitted into evidence. Thank you. So let's do one page read back. Now listen, if somebody doesn't want to do read back, just tell me you want to pass and I won't call on you, okay? But if you want, you can always just follow along with your notes and see how you do. Okay, but nobody's ever forced to read back. It's just optional, okay? All right, so I'm going to read this the first time at 225, and I'm going to read it again at 200, last time at 180, okay? And this is going to be plaintiff, but the court does come in, okay? All right, here we go. First time at 225. Let me just wind my watch here. It's getting a little low. Okay. Well, how many robberies like this did you and Ms. Rodders commit before you actually got arrested for the one you were convicted of? One, just the one time? Uh-huh. Yes. Uh-huh. Do your best to say yes or no. Yes, sir. You said that the victim of this robbery at the Tiffany Inn, the victim started fighting with Ms. Rodders. Yeah, he tried to, yeah. And is that because Ms. Rodders was in fact in charge of that situation? No, because she set him up, so he got angry. Now, Kimberly Beatty, she was a young lady that was also present. Yes, sir. And what is her relationship to you at this time? At this time, I don't know her at all. I didn't know her then. I just barely met her a few days prior to the incident. Do you know why she was at the motel? I really don't know why she was there, to be honest. Was she a prostitute to your knowledge? No, sir. All right. Was she selling dope? No, sir. All right. So I'm going to do that again at 200. Here we go. Well, how many robberies like this did you and Ms. Rodders commit before you actually got arrested for the one you were convicted of? One, just the one time? Uh-huh. Yes? Uh-huh. Do your best to say yes or no. Yes, sir. You said that the victim of this robbery at the Tiffany Inn, the victim started fighting with Ms. Rodders? Yeah, he tried to, yeah. And is that because Ms. Rodders was in fact in charge of that situation? No, because she set him up, so he got angry. Now, Kimberly Beatty, she was a young lady that was also present. Yes, sir. And what is her relationship to you at this time? At this time, I don't know her at all. I didn't know her then. I just barely met her a few days prior to the incident. Do you know why she was at the motel? I really don't know why she was there, to be honest. Was she a prostitute to your knowledge? No, sir. All right. Was she selling dope? No, sir. Last time at 180. Well, how many robberies like this did you and Ms. Rodders commit before you actually got arrested for the one you were convicted of? One, just the one time? Uh-huh. Yes? Uh-huh. Do your best to say yes or no. Yes, sir. You said that the victim of this robbery at the Tiffany Inn, the victim started fighting with Ms. Rodders? Yeah, he tried to, yeah. And is that because Ms. Rodders was in fact in charge of that situation? No, because she set him up, so he got angry. Now, Kimberly Beatty, she was a young lady that was also present. Yes, sir. And what is her relationship to you at this time? At this time, I don't know her at all. I didn't know her then. I just barely met her a few days prior to the incident. Do you know why she was at the motel? I really don't know why she was there, to be honest. Was she a prostitute to your knowledge? No, sir. All right. Was she selling dope? No, sir. So I stumbled on that one, but I'll make sure and note that if anybody's reading back the 180. And what was? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. All right. We'll go ahead and read this back. Okay. So if you're reading back the 180 take, I made a note of, I said something and then, went ahead and said what the question actually was. So I made a note of that. Okay. All right. And again, if you want to just skip over, just say, I want to pass. I don't want to read back. Okay. All right. So you guys let me know when you find your spot, because I know some people like to do the 200 take or the 225, so they have to go back and find their spot. So let me know when you find it, okay?
I'm ready. I don't know about everyone else.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm ready to.
All right. So Adam found his spot. Amanda, are you still looking?
I found my spot.
You did. Okay, perfect. All right. So if you guys want, well, are you guys all three okay with reading back? A Q&A? Okay. If you have a hard time, let me know and I'll help you with it, okay? So Catherine, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Question. Well, how many robberies like this did you and Ms. Rodgers commit before you actually got arrested for one you were convicted of? Oh, yeah. Answer. One, just one.
Awesome.
I'll do the next one.
Okay.
It's easy. Just the one time question? Or question just the one time? Answer, uh-huh.
Awesome. And I'll go ahead and do the next one. Question, yes. Answer, uh-huh.
I'll go next.
Okay.
The court, do your best to say yes or no. The witness, yes, sir.
Perfect.
Question by plaintiff. You said that the victim of this robbery, Tiffany, at the Tiffany Inn, the victim started fighting with Ms. Rodgers. Answer, yeah.
You have he.
Say that again.
You have he.
Yeah, he tried to
You have yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No. I have something that looks kind of like yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
I have yes with an F.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't know how that happened.
That's okay.
Well, how do you write yeah?
Yeah, Y-E-A-F.
How do you write it, Adam?
I write it Y-A with a star, the flag.
Oh, okay.
Is that the end or is there more? I thought that was the end.
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah, there's more. There's a bunch more.
Are you okay to read this, Adam?
Oh, is it me?
Yes.
Dang. Yeah. Whoops. And is that
I'm sorry.
I was off. Okay, question. And is that because Ms. Rodgers was in fact in charge of that situation? Answer, no, because she set him up so he got angry.
Perfect. Is it I think it's my turn, and then it's Amanda's.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Now, Kimberly Beatty, she was a young lady that was also present. Answer, yes, sir.
Question. Was there, and what is her relationship to you at this time? Answer, at that time, I didn't know her. I don't know her at all. I didn't know her then. I just barely met her a few days prior to the incident.
Perfect. So if you're reading the 180 take, that's when that question was where I said, and there was What is her relationship to you at this time? So if you're reading either the 200 or 225, that's why it was a little different. Okay.
Okay. Question, do you know why she was at the motel? Answer, I really don't know why she was there, to be honest.
Perfect.
Question, is she a prostitute? Answer, no, sir.
Do you have to your knowledge? Was she a prostitute to your knowledge?
I do on all the other takes.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Do you guys use TOURJ for your to your knowledge?
Sure.
That's mine, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good phrase. TOURJ, to your knowledge. Good job, though. Good job, Adam. Oh, it's my turn, huh? Well, you want to take the last one, Amanda?
Sure.
Okay.
Question. All right. Was she selling dope? Answer, no, sir.
Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, that's awesome. Great job. So, Amanda, welcome to the live class.
Thank you.
Yes, it's great to have you. Yes. And we've got, so high speeds are Wednesday evenings from 5 to 6, and then Friday mornings from 9 to 10. And then we do have mid speeds. Let's see.
120 to 160.
Yes, 120 to 160, and that's on Tuesdays from 5 to 6, and Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10. So feel free to jump into those as well. This morning I was a couple minutes late getting in because I had a mandatory, my printer said software update and it wouldn't let me get out. I was so mad. I was trying to like backtrack and go through. So, but no, it wouldn't let me. So anyway, so
thought you were still on Sage time where you start class 10 minutes late.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and it's funny because my printer was acting weird yesterday, and I shut it off and then restarted it. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but it did a whole update thing. So I was just thankful I came on early because it took 10 minutes for it to do its thing. But anyways, well, welcome, Amanda, and I hope that we can see you again in the live class.
Thank you.
Yes, it's great to have you. And you guys have a great weekend. Do you have any plans this weekend?
Is it the weekend? It is.
You work, Adam? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
My weekend is usually Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm sure that, are the tips better on the weekends?
Oh yeah. Well, the tips aren't necessarily better, but it's busier.
Yeah.
There's a lot more business.
Yeah.
For everybody who doesn't know, I'm a server at Red Lobster.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Adam, do you still work? Didn't you used to work at Starbucks as well?
Yeah, I stopped when I started going to Sage.
Okay.
In theory, because 2 jobs and getting all that homework done was not really possible.
No.
I didn't have any time.
Yeah, and then your wife, does she still work at?
She works at a law office and Starbucks.
Okay.
2 part-time, but the attorney she works for is about to retire at the end of April, so she's looking for another job right now.
Oh, wow. Well, she's got experience, so I'm sure it won't be that hard. Somebody's going to hire her.
Yeah, well, we're actually thinking about when I become a court reporter about her being my scopist so that I can take more jobs and make more money for us. So, because she's really enjoys that side of things. She didn't end up doing so well with the pressure of being the court reporter and not being able to miss anything.
Yeah, so she doesn't miss that. That just was not her thing.
No, she was having panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, everything else though, she was fine with. So she wants to be my scopist so I can pump more transcripts out.
That's perfect, Adam. I don't know if you know this, but Catherine that's here, her aunt is a court reporter and she is her scopist.
You're her scopist? Nice.
In fact, she just had to hire
Yeah.
somebody else because Catherine's having to focus more on getting done, you know?
Oh yeah.
I still scope a little bit, but I've cut back a lot just because I'm almost done.
How long have you been scoping?
A long time.
Nice.
She trained me when I was in high school, so it's been, but I've done it off and on. Like I started a whole different career at one point, and then I came back to scoping when that didn't work out, and it's been in my life for like 18 years now. So
Nice.
yeah.
What speed are you at?
Well, I just passed my 200 jury charge RPR, and
Nice.
I'm doing pretty well on. I'm writing comfortably at 200.
Sweet.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that reminds me. Jill,
Yeah.
is Platinum Steno gonna offer any like procedural or English or any other like classes towards the end for
Yes,
the other legs
Robert.
of the test?
Robert just let me know that that's coming. He's setting that up.
Oh,
He's
cool.
going to be hiring somebody to be doing that because he wants to offer those.
Nice.
Yes,
Sweet.
definitely procedures, and I know he said English. If there's a need there, he's gonna hire somebody to do that. Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, dropped it.
So, I just realized that Robert was in here. Huh. Take care, guys.
Hi,
Great class.
Robert.
Yeah, it says administrator, so that was Robert. But I'll ask him I'll ask him when the goal is for that to come into, fruition. So,
Cool.
yep, he was just telling me that though. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Good, because I'm gonna need some of that
Yep.
procedural goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Maybe some medical or legal terminology.
Okay. And
Those are like the
it never
two
hurts.
that I didn't get at Sage.
Yeah. It never hurts to email him as well. All you have to do is go on the information email on the Platinum Steno
Uh-huh.
and let him know that. Say, hey, Robert, because he told me if the need is there, then he's going to, address it. So the more people he knows that would be interested, the better.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Do you know about how many students are with Platinum Center right now?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't know from start to finish because now we've got theory going. So now.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. We've got right now, I mean, we just started theory, but we've only got like 5 theory students, but still, I mean, it's now that we've got those and it's, we've got a lot of people that are going to start and they're in the process of getting their machine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say we've got about 20 that are in the works of getting their machine and getting it started.
Oh,
so I know,
nice.
But we've got like 5 active like theory students. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So we are, it's neat. I think I just recorded lesson 13 because
Are you doing theory?
I am, but it's all
Nice.
recorded. So they do it whenever, you know what I mean? They're on their own path. So, I mean, of course I grade their stuff, but they watch the recordings whenever they want. So I think the student that's furthest along is in lesson 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's at their own pace. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you, are you teaching like Tammy's theory?
Yes.
Or are you, yeah?
Yeah.
Because she used the books, the NCRA books, but she changed things. She changed so many things.
We did. We
in
changed it all.
Oh, good.
Yep. It's all real time. Like all those changes, it's not even the same book.
Yeah.
They're like handouts and the students print their handouts. It's from the same theory, but it's all those implementations that we did and all the changes.
Uh-huh.
It's got all of that. So there's no more like cross this out and change it to this. And no, it's all, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, she had several lessons where it was like, here are these 2 handouts. Replace these 2 pages.
Yep. No more of that. And
staple
it's
them
like,
in.
the students don't even have to buy a book. They print out they're all handouts and they put it in a binder and
Nice.
yeah, it's awesome.
It's good not to have to buy books.
Yes, absolutely. I know. And you know, Robert, he's always about saving the student money, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, if you ever have any questions about the, the scoping, Catherine, that's what she does. So I'm sure, that's a neat thing for you and your wife to do, it's.
Yeah. I was just asking my court reporter friend if it would be a problem for her to legally be looking at it and stuff, if because of the confidential nature of it, if she's not like officially like a paid employee like scopist and stuff, because like the plan is for us to kind of operate as a unit. So I'm not paying her, but we are both making more money because I'm able to take more jobs type thing. So she said it'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Catherine, you don't ever have an issue that because that's your aunt, right?
I've only had to sign a confidentiality, like non-disclosure agreement or something on like one case.
Cool.
Okay.
Because they knew about me, but I mean, to be frank, they don't even know that you have a scopist. I mean,
yeah.
Was
she just like paying you under the table type thing?
No, I don't get paid under the table. I'm just saying, like, it's all above board, but the parties don't know that I exist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They only see you. They don't even know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the court reporter who's signing it, not the scopist.
It would be on you. I mean, you would have to deal with that with her. Obviously, if she's your wife, you can trust her. It could be
one unit. Yeah.
Make her sign the contract, Adam. Just kidding.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so it should be good.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, the main force behind that is that I wanted to do depositions for the flexibility of it, because we're like really involved with our church and stuff, and there's a lot of things that I would need to take off time for and things like that, or things that I could take off time for to go to. And it wouldn't really make sense for me to have that kind of flexibility and for her to not have another job and not have that flexibility.
Yeah.
So this way we would both maintain it and it would be good.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if we had kids, she could, stay at home.
Absolutely. Yep. I just read an article not too long ago about a husband-wife team. And except I think it was flipped. She was the court reporter and he was her scopist.
I imagine it's usually that way.
Yeah, but it works. Hey, whatever works. I mean, like you said, you can take more jobs. You can do more of the expedited, jobs that mean more money. The expert witnesses that means more money. I mean, yeah, it definitely, I think it would be very beneficial.
That's the plan.
And the fact that because didn't your wife she got through theory, right?
Yeah, she stopped in 60-80. Yeah, okay. She stopped. Or did she finish 60-80? Did she start 100 with you?
I think she did.
Okay, she finished 60-80. She stopped 100. Yeah,
okay.
That's why.
So then she knows your theory, so that's great. That's another added bonus too. It's not just a proofreader. I mean, she can actually read your notes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except all my crazy briefs. I don't think she's... I'll have to familiarize her with those.
Yeah. Fill her in.
Just give her my dictionary and say, wing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll get to know your writing just like you do, Catherine, right? You probably know your aunt's writing and what she tends to make mistakes on. And like you said, when she stacks that final T with whatever you were saying the other day.
Oh, she does that. Yeah. The past tense with to, and she hits today instead of, it stacks the past for D ending and the to and becomes today. I mean, that happens every day.
But see, that point is that her writing, so your wife's going to get to know your writing, Adam, and know,
she might be, hey, you need to work on this.
I know, she will. She definitely will. Hey, you got to stop making this mistake.
I don't dare say that to my aunt. I have a way of saying it where like, hey, I noticed that this is happening. Is something wrong with your machine?
Oh no, that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got sticky keys. They don't come up fast enough.
I know. I remember reading your wife's notes, Adam, thinking, "Oh my gosh, she had clean notes."
Yeah, well, she's such a perfectionist. That's why she would get behind in the speed tests and like have a panic attack and freak out.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's not for everyone, because a lot of times that happens where you get students that are such clean writers that they can't get over the fact that, it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay if your notes are messy. As long as you can read them, that's what's important, because you can go in and edit them. But I know I see that all the time where students are stuck because they are perfectionists. Like, it's okay that you have messy notes.
I'm glad your wife can't see my notes. She'd probably have a heart attack.
I don't let her look at mine right now. We'll wait until I pass. Don't you dare look at mine. Luckily, it's not as bad if she looks at my transcripts, because I have so many misstrokes in my dictionary that some things get taken care of, but it's still not good.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. She would die.
At 180, you can read my notes. When at 225, nobody can read my notes. Only I can read my notes.
But that's what matters, Hey, you can pass that test because you can read your notes. That's all that matters.
Sometimes I don't even know how I figure some of the stuff out that I write, but I do.
I know. I used to do crazy things with and then the next word, and I would always figure it out. But I kind of like what your aunt does. I would do and then, it always seemed like it was and another word altogether.
Huh.
Oh yeah, I could see how that could happen. You're going so fast,
Yep.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask: is footprint one word? Is that two separate words?
Is what now?
Footprint.
Ooh, footprint.
Footprint's one word.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to be for sure about it and then have you look it up and say, no, it's, thank you, Catherine.
Thanks.
No problem.
Lifesaver.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, my aunt didn't pass the CRR.
She did. Did she get nervous?
Oh, because of those stacks, man. She had too much today.
She tried to fix most of those, and she tried to fix it, and I was like, it was the day before. I'm like, you cannot change your today. You cannot change your outline for today. You've been writing it that way for 25 years. Like, you're not going to fix it in a day,
No.
So, but no, she just had one spot where she got hung up on something, and
that's okay though. I mean, now she knows what, she knows what to expect. She'll pass it.
She signed right back up for it, and I think she's probably taking it like this weekend, probably.
Oh, good.
Can you take it online? Isn't that one online?
It's online. Yeah.
That one's just 202 voice, right?
Yeah.
And it's, what did you say the percentage was? 96?
96.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no time to transcribe, right? You just turn in what you have.
Yep. And
nice.
It's crazy because we were talking about if you have one misstroke and it's like a 3-stroker, that's 3 errors. So
dang.
Yeah.
So you got to fix that.
Another thing too,
pay attention to your notes.
Another thing that Catherine was saying is if a word is a hyphenated word, like if you don't,
oh yeah, it has to be hyphenated.
Yeah, then that's a mistake.
You got to get all your punctuation in there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So it's one of the easiest, they say it's like the easiest test that you'll fail or something like that.
Yeah.
So, because it's like all about your dictionary, really.
Yeah. Because if you wrote that same way any other time, you'd be like, oh yeah, easy pass. You need 5 minutes to transcribe.
Oh, I'm sure if she could transcribe it, she probably would have gotten like 99 or 100%. But
yeah. Did it even tell her what her percentage was? Or is it
her estimated was an 89%.
Okay.
Dang.
Okay.
So it was just like little things.
Yeah.
How long has she been working on her?
Okay.
How long has she been working on her like conflict-free real-time writing? You said
since the early 90s.
Like 25 years. Really?
I mean, she started doing real time when real time started. She used to teach lawyers about it. She would go out and teach them about real time, but you know, lawyers are pretty forgiving of mistakes, you know, so
yeah,
it hasn't really mattered. But and then her, you know, you've got nerves and stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And punctuation. I mean, that you're not just worried about getting the words, you're worried about getting your punctuation.
Yeah. And you know, the reality of it is she's a great writer, but you know, she doesn't worry about little things like that when she's if it's going fast or whatever, you know. Because as long as they can read it, it's fine, like it's good enough, you know. But she's actually done a lot. She's been working on it now. She should have been. It's different now. Students work on it from the beginning, so a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can't think about real time, otherwise we don't progress in speed.
That's right. I really think that's why it's taking students longer to get through school, because it's the whole real time in the back of your mind. But in school, your focus is to, if you can read your notes, that's great. You know what I mean? That's why you have time to you know, clean up what you wrote and to proofread it. So
yeah, I've really been making an effort to let go of that, and I've seen some improvement just in the last week and a half since we talked about it. Just like I try not to even, sometimes I'll have the urge to go in and enter something into my dictionary. I stop doing that. I have my writing time and then I have my editing time later. Like I make it totally separate.
That's good.
It's really helping.
Yes. Because so many students will tell me that, oh, I watched the recorded class and I stopped it so I could add these words. I'm like, no. You focus on your class. And then after that is when you add your words, because that's cutting into, think of a runner. You don't stop in the middle of your run to fix your shoes. You know, you're going to do your run and then worry about that later, you know?
It really I totally agree with that. It makes such a difference because then you're totally there with the whoever's speaking, you know, like I'm just present. I'm with you. I'm, you know, hearing you and not thinking about anything else. And it's important, I think.
Yeah. I was
especially to get to 25.
Yes. I was just talking to a student that's like in 60-80, and she told me that once she looks over at her screen, if she even notices that there's an untranslated, throws her off. And I told her, if we're not doing the you know, the life word, throw a towel over it and don't look at, or turn it away. Don't look at it. Just listen and write, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even have my screen on. Like it's on you and you're all I can see.
Good.
Like I never looked at my screen, but sometimes I'll want to toggle over because I know something's not in my dictionary, or if there's like a pause, I'll want to do it. But I stopped doing that because I didn't think I was thinking about real time, but you really do without realizing it, you know?
Yep.
So
yeah, I have mine on just for read back and for going through and putting things in later, but try not to have it up while we're actually going, because it's a huge distraction for me. I'll just want to add things like right away.
You're like, what is
like,
that?
oh, why isn't that in my dictionary? That's been my brief forever.
Yeah. Or what is that word? What did I do to misstroke, you know? And like,
And you're just like flag, back, going back and doing it. Let me fix that real quick. Oh wait, I just missed 2 questions and answers. Oh crap.
Yeah. Hold that thought.
Yeah. What's not?
All right, you guys.
Sorry, real quick. I love sitting at the Starbucks because they come and bring me free drinks all the time.
They do?
They're like, hey, we have this extra drink. Do you want it? It's like, yeah.
It's awesome, Adam. Is it because they know you? Is that the one you used to work at, or?
No, actually, a couple, 1 to 2 people here I used to work with.
Okay.
But I never worked at this one. This one's kind of new. But I'm in here like every day.
They're like, hey, that's
so
awesome.
Like, hey, do you want this drink? Because they know I'll say yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Free drink.
I like it.
Yeah, that's great.
I know, right? Yesterday they gave me a caramel frappuccino though, and I was like, holy crap, I totally forgot how sweet these things are. Ridiculous. It was like extra caramel all in the cup.
Now you got like a sugar high.
Yeah. If that's even, I don't even think that's possible for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Me neither. I know.
Sugar and caffeine don't even, not a thing.
I know. I've had to move on to 5-hour energies because coffee just doesn't even do it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Not good.
When I worked at Starbucks, I had at least 2 drinks like this with 4 shots of espresso in each of them, and like a Trenta, which is like a 30-ounce refresher, which is kind of like a juice drink, but it has a lot of caffeine in it. And then I would go to Red Lobster. I would get off and I would have like an hour or 2 and then go to Red Lobster. I remember one day I was stupid and I drank a Monster too, and I was flying at Red Lobster. I was like Superman. I was like, why are you guys moving so slow? That's like the last time I remember caffeine affecting me. But that was also the time in my life when I would sit down and fall asleep during a movie or TV show immediately.
Oh my God. I would literally have a heart attack. I don't drink caffeine. I would literally I'm serious. I would have a heart attack. I quit.
Yeah, you probably would.
Caffeine, like maybe a year ago. And I love the taste of coffee. So I have decaf every now and then just for the taste. But
there's still some caffeine in decaf.
I know I ordered decaf one time and someone gave me not decaf and I was
so
like having heart palpitations.
Oh
my God. I don't think they did it on purpose.
Yeah, it happens so.
Oh.
Anyways. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you drink all that. I would just be like, I would die.
I think my tolerance for caffeine has always been pretty high.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I drank Mountain Dew every day when I was growing up.
Oh.
So that probably started it off early.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not good. Whatever.
So, Catherine, if you drink soda, do you notice that it gives you, does it make you hyper?
I only drink sparkling water. I don't drink, I rarely drink soda. And if I do, it's not caffeinated.
Yeah.
It's probably good.
So, what?
I said that's probably good. I tried to drink sparkling water a couple times and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not good.
The sparkling water, it's the flavor that it hurts my stomach so bad. In fact, that's why I have celiac and all kinds of weird stuff in my stomach. But that's why I started going to those energy things, because coffee hurts my stomach too. But the energy things don't, the little ones.
Yeah, the 5-hour energy. Yeah, because they're mostly like vitamin B12 is their like main source of giving you energy. B12 and I think they have caffeine in them too.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason that doesn't hurt, but man, coffee anymore, it's like, and then I thought, I'll eliminate the soda and go to that sparkling water, but the I guess it's the flavor they put in that doesn't agree with me. So I'm like, well, can't do that either. So.
I don't think it has any flavor in it. I think it's just the carbonation, CO2, and water. But it has a weird flavor to it. Like the carbonation adds it tastes so bad to me. I can't drink it.
My husband can't drink them either, but that makes me happy because they never disappear out of
More
the
for
fridge.
me.
There you
They're
go.
all mine.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's like my husband, you guys. He loves peanut butter, and I hate peanut butter.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah, no.
Oh.
So he'll buy like peanut butter, like whatever with ice cream or whatever. He knows that he's the only one that's going to eat it because I'm not going to touch it, you know?
What? How can you not like peanut butter?
Oh, I don't know. It's so. He even tries to. He'll make me a shake or him a shake, and he'll go, here, try this, and he'll put a little peanut butter in there, and I'm like, you put that in there. And he's like, how do you do that? I only put a little bit, but I wish I liked it because I know it's good. It has high protein, but no.
You don't like the taste or the texture or what?
All of it.
Your face. Dude,
Do you like peanuts?
it's so good.
I can eat peanuts.
I don't like peanut butter flavored things or peanut butter added to things, like a smoothie is not that good, or peanut butter cookies, things like that. I don't like, but I like peanut butter. I like chunky peanut butter, and like on a sandwich or just like a spoon of peanut butter. It's so good.
You guys, when my kids were little and I had to make them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because they loved it, I would literally gag. I would have to like look away, like, yeah. I don't know.
Dang.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's
Labor of love.
But you know what? I did figure this out. I think it was last year. I don't like anything that color. I don't like yams. I don't like pumpkin. Anything that color. Now I'll eat carrots, and carrots are a bright orange. But I think it's the color, maybe.
So close your eyes and try it.
Yeah. No.
Here, try this.
oh my gosh.
So funny. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'll let you go.
All right.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Okay.
You too. Thanks.
I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.